Session 111. Good evening. We may have a brief session. First of all, I will mention that the 1,500, not the 1,400, date for my Denmark existence is correct. Our prospects for the immediate future will involve discussions of our threefold universal fields, their development, interrelationship, correlations, and reference points. Data from one such universe can and does serve as a reference point in another. In such a circumstances, the data is of course interpreted according to the universe in which it appears. An action may occur, therefore, in the world of matter, and be perceived in both the universe of negative matter and the dream world. But in such a case, each universe interprets the action according to and within its own framework of reference. There will be seen to be correlations that will appear in each of these universes. They would seem to be distortions. They represent, however, almost reflections of the same action, and are viewed from different dimensional points. A study of the correlations with their distortive effect would seem to yield entirely different data. Only an observer from without the three-field system of universe could judge that one action, and not three, had occurred. It will be seamless to discuss at first such correlations occurring within the dream universe and the universe of matter, since the dream universe is closest to you in both psychic and electromagnetic terms. As we progress and pick up the study of our dream universe once more, we will be involved also with the study of mental events as they occur within both systems. And because I am presently uninvolved within your system, it is possible for me to give instances as they occur of such mental actions, as they are perceived in both the universe of matter and the dream universe. These acts are not only interpreted differently, they also, of course, have effects which are caused not only by the initial action, but also by the distortive appearance of the action in a given system. The reaction to such a mental act is made not only to the act itself, but the reaction is made to the appearance of an initial act, as it is projected into the second system. Its very appearance or projection into a second system, therefore, causes an apparent change in the act itself. To all effects and purposes, such an action becomes a different one, while in actuality it is the same. If you will again recall our material on the fifth dimension, you will see how this must be the case. It will be far more simple to see such a distortive effect of one mental action as it occurs in the dream and matter universes. In all such cases, the mental action occurs simultaneously in all systems in which it will have a reality, in which it can be used as a reference point. In other words, all mental actions are not used as reference points in all systems. It will not go into the reasons for this now. There may be the appearance of a time lapse of one kind or another between mental actions and their appearance or projection into other systems, but this is a distortive effect. Such distortive effects, such distortions, are often correlated within a given system and accepted as a foundation for the nature of reality. And all further data is then accepted according to the easiness with which it can be accepted within this framework. The distortions being mistaken for the actuality behind them. We will have many sessions yet dealing with the dream universe, besides the interpretation of dreams specifically, in which I realize you are most interested, besides the explanation of dreams as they apply to your manipulation in the world of matter. We will discuss dream symbols as they apply not to the world of matter, but to the dream universe itself. We shall look in from the other side, for there is a looking in also from the other side. I have mentioned before that beneath camouflage, the fifth dimension is truly transparent. I have said that dream universe data has its effect upon your universe, as your universe has its effect upon the dream universe. It is also true that the dream universe is at least as familiar with your own universe as you are familiar with it, and as you tune in on it, so to speak. And while you are necessary for its survival, creating it, so does the dream universe tune in on you. So is your survival dependent upon its survival, and so does it create you as a byproduct, if you are looking at your universe from the other side. I suggest you break. The last statement should not surprise you. All systems, and this is a general statement, all systems are to some extent inter-involved. This applies to the smallest and the largest systems. I have said, and I will repeat, in fact, there are no closed systems. They may appear closed to those within, but they are not closed, and there are openings in what appear closed places. We will deal directly in our future dream material with specific mental actions and with the different appearance of the actions in the dream and matter universes. This will involve as much work as we have already done on the nature of matter, and will involve us further in that discussion. I must always pick up multitudinous phrases as we go on, in order to make even one point clear. The habit, when it becomes vigorous, of trying to view your system from the outside will serve you greatly. We touched briefly on this when I spoke of objectifying. The study of the dream universe will require a journey inward, through the subconscious and beyond. It will also require a certain objectivity, in that you must try to see your own universe, then from the other side. This involves definitely a change of focus, and willingness to momentarily detach the abilities of both the intellect and the intuitions from familiar camouflage reference points. Keep in mind here, though a discussion will wait for quite a while, that a like relationship occurs between the dream universe and the world of negative matter. There is surrounding this threefold system an envelope, so to speak, of uncamouflaged psychic phenomena, in other words, psychic energy gestures, of which we will speak much later. They are important, however, and from what you now know you realize that these energy forms represent mental enclosure units, operating in the same manner as our early ones of which we spoke when discussing the early development of energy within the physical field. These therefore, for all intents and purposes, close ranks, encompassing the three systems and accepting no further additions at this given time. As they evolve, they may attract other energy forms and build extensions to the system. The inwardness or inward energy, which forms all these systems, is the inventive stabilizer, and yet in its search, it ever creates new outlets that result in creative chaos, a lack of temporary balance which is then balanced, It is from the inwardness then, operating through its force, that all innovations come, and from which the most seemingly unexpected developments can be expected. I suggest your break. Now, your experience the other evening was indeed quite legitimate. My friend's manner was meant as a gentle reprimand to me, and as a joke between us, since I had told him that I did not want him to confuse you, or to discuss matters being covered in our material. I did not want him coming in as a substitute teacher, and with all good intentions in the world causing any misunderstandings in my class. So he, as a joke on me, would tell you nothing at all, and answer hardly any of your questions. We are well acquainted. Our educational methods vary. That is all. Perhaps, for your amazement or amusement, we may come together some evening, although not during a regular session, and this is not anything but a probability. I have told you that this will be a fairly brief session, and so it shall. Rupert may try a half-hour psychological time experiment tomorrow and Wednesday, if he chooses, and then we will see. This has been an excellent session. My most fond good wishes to you both, and if you do not want to carry on conversations with my friends, you do not have to. I told them you were both very particular about what you saw, and to whom you would deign to speak. Particularly that hard-headed Rupert. And now, after my weak joke, I will say good evening. Rob said good night, Seth.